I know a lot of guys, especially online, hear patriarchy and their brain immediately goes, rah, feminism, hates men. But as I get older, I look back on my life and I wish I had more of an understanding of the world around me and more empathy for others and their struggles. And while I would never condone being awful to people, I recognize that we're all byproducts of our environment and society as a whole. And if society perpetuates certain things and never tells you why or how things the way they are, most of us are just kind of gonna accept them or make up whatever reason seems right to us due to our own personal biases. Anyway, I'm no expert. I'm just an opinionated dumbass who wants to be a good person and make the world kinder and gentler within my sphere of influence. I'm still learning and growing, and I thought maybe there are other dumbasses like me who want to understand what everyone is talking about, but don't want to look dumb. So I will try to explain this as best as I can and how I understand it and the nuance around it. So with that out of the way, the patriarchy is defined as a social system in which positions of dominance and privilege are primarily held by men. But I think people hear that and go, well, my life isn't great. In fact, I can name why life is better for women compared to mine. But the thing is, we are all affected by the patriarchy because the patriarchy is a system within society, and we are all a part of society. This is in no way to say that men have it easy in the world. It is simply saying that as far as society is concerned, it favors you in a lot of ways, but also hinders you quite frequently. For example, any guy living in the US knows that when you turn 18, you're supposed to register for selective services. If you don't, you can't get federal student aid, and even those immigrating have to sign up for it. An argument I hear is, but why only men? Well, exactly. I don't support war in general, but we can all understand why socially men have to, but women don't. Men are viewed as stronger and women aren't, which is silly of course, because no one wants to get shot. A benefit of the patriarchy is men can express bodily autonomy to a greater extent compared to women. For example, they can have multiple partners without social stigma, and there are far less laws regulating what men can and can't do with their body, whereas women obviously don't have that luxury. But again, because we all live in a society and take part in it, we are all affected by it. So because of this fact, a few things are true. Anyone can uphold the patriarchy. It doesn't matter who you are, men, women, in between, or outside of that spectrum, even though it works against your best interests. For example, society will often tell men that they can't be emotional and they're not allowed to express feelings in healthy and very human ways. And you will have men who believe that this is true, that men should be stoic and unwavering. This toxic belief is why a lot of boys and men underlove themselves so often, because they feel isolated from society, disconnected internally, and they have to fight these battles alone. And a lot of women will uphold this awful view of men or even make fun of men for being emotional. But this worldview some women might agree with and will argue for is not in her best interest, as it is just another branch on the tree that is patriarchy. Because a young man who is disconnected with themselves and the world emotionally will not only hurt themselves but others, often traumatizing people as they go through life and never developing empathy. Another example is the notion that men need to be with as many women as possible. This is obviously an incredibly unhealthy and toxic way to view interpersonal relationships. Because society tells guys this, they grow to view women as things to acquire and not as complex human beings like themselves. This also teaches men to link their worth to the quantity and quality of their partners, and failure is a mark on your manhood. Every argument you see online about why it is so difficult to be a man removes any of the nuance of what it means to be human. It's women are bad, they have all the power, etc. If you truly feel the way you do about how poorly society treats men, you have to recognize that the tree is rotting, and podcast bros are simply monetizing your frustration. We are all human, and we are all affected by social pressure. So the only way to fix society, even selfishly, is to change society, not people. People will follow.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.